you need to identify at least 10 hazards. Okay, so next, let's move to the next part. Yeah, part 3. Before we go on to part 3, you can see at the bottom of each page there is learner number and learner name. So you need to write your learner number and learner name. How can you do that? Remember, this is in the footer. Okay, so you move your mouse here at the bottom next to learner number and you double click. Once you double click, it will take you to the footer. So, and the learner number, you can type your learner number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And in the learner name, you can write your name as you have given Furqan Ali Haider. Okay. So this is how you can do it. Okay, now, sorry, I moved to the wrong section. Yeah. So next is part 3. Part 3 basically here is, now you need to prioritize 3 actions with justifications for their selection. Okay. And here is the suggested word counts. First, you need to give moral, financial arguments for all actions, 300 to 350 words. Okay. Then for each action, you need to give specific legal arguments from 100 to 150 words. For each action, you need to give likelihood and severity, 75 to 150 words. And then how effective the actions are likely to be controlling the risk, 100 to 150 words. Okay, somebody has a chat message. Just let me see. Let me just close this. Sorry guys, just let me mention. Please share your screen. Okay, my screen is shared, I think. Can you guys see my screen now? Is it visible, guys? Hello?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
It's visible. Okay, okay. So here what you need to do, you need to, obviously you need to prioritize 3 actions with justifications for its selection. What justification will we give? We will give moral and financial argument for all actions, 300 to 350 words. Okay. Then specific legal arguments, 100 to 150 words, likelihood and severity, 75 to 150 words, and effectiveness of control, 100 to 150 words. Okay. So now let's move on to the first section, which is the moral, general, legal, and financial arguments. Okay. Now, let's say we select 3 actions, which is providing, what you call it, a welding hood and providing scaffolding, or whatever the 3 actions. I'll just mention the moral, legal. These are general arguments you need to give. Okay. Now, it is the moral duty of Al Jaber Energy Services to ensure that the workers who come to earn a living for their family, they must return home safely. The workers here are overseas workers who have left their home country to feed their families, and if God forbid anything happens to them, imagine the pain and suffering those workers will go through because of the injury, or think of the pain and suffering the family families and friends of these workers will go through if they die in a work-related accident. It is immoral, it is unacceptable that the workers will have to suffer while earning a livelihood. Or you can mention any other kind of moral discussions. Now you need to mention general legal and financial arguments. Okay. Now you can mention if the proposed control measures are not put in place, we can have an accident which may lead to court case in which our company may be severely penalized by the courts. We may be fined or imprisoned, or we may suffer both. Even if we don't have an accident, we can be visited by a legal inspector who may give us a improvement or prohibition notice, or he might even take us for prosecution. Okay, we must ensure that we comply with these legal requirements by taking the proposed actions. Now you talk about the financial arguments. What are the financial arguments? If an accident takes place, we are bound to lose a lot of money. For example, the medical costs that we will have to incur in case a serious injury takes place. We will also have to bear the cost of compensation if the injured person goes to court. Okay. So you need to give financial arguments. What are the financial arguments we can give? The accident may cause work stoppage and we might lose a lot of money. What else can happen?
Hiring cost of lawyer and
Yes, we may also
property damage,
need to hire a lawyer to take to the court. Then court fees will also be applicable. We might also lose future business because of the bad reputation after the accident. So just mention the financial arguments. Okay, so here you need to just mention general arguments here. Okay, you don't need to give reference to the actions here. So how many words do we need to complete here? It is written at the top. We need to complete around 300 to 350 words. Okay, I have completed only 292 words. So I need to mention more of the costs our insurance premiums will also increase after the accident. So now I've completed 300 words. Okay. So I've completed this section: moral, financial, general legal, and financial arguments. So this is how you need to give the arguments here. Then moving on to the next. Now you need to give justifications for the three actions you selected. So I will just give you example of one action. The actions, where do you need to select the actions from? You need to select the actions from the additional controls in the risk assessment. Okay. So let me take you to the yes. Okay, so where will we take the actions from? We will take the actions from here. So this is the first action I will take. Use a welding hood to limit the sparks of welding within the congested area. Okay, so I will take this action. You guys will have to take three actions, and you can take it from any of these 10 hazards. Okay, so I'm taking the use of a welding. So I will copy this and then take it down to this section, which is part number 3. Yes, action number 1. What is action number 1? Okay, and I will mention here hazard category fire, so that it is easy for the examiner to find which hazard category. Okay, now I need to give specific legal arguments here. What are the specific legal arguments here? I will mention the ILO code of practice on fire safety and ILO convention C155 and R164 place a direct responsibility on the employer to provide a safe workplace to the workers. In addition, OSHAD, COP 23, whatever it is, you can search the internet for this, guys. You can go to Google. Okay, let me just share this with you so you understand where to make. So we are looking for legal requirement on fire safety. So legal requirements on fire safety, you can again go to the Health and Safety Executive website. It will give you some legal requirements. You can also mention ILO requirements on fire safety. Mention here ILO requirements on fire safety. Okay. Fire safety, labor administration. There you go. This is the first one. So you can get from here the fire safety. Is there any number? If there is any number or any title, you can mention here, or you can just give reference to the ILO, what you call it, requirements. Yes, here is a guide for labor inspectors and other stakeholders regarding fire safety. So you can mention in your here. So you can mention instead of COP, ILO guidance document on fire safety for, what was the title? The title is a guide for labor inspectors and stakeholders for fire safety. In the guide for labor inspectors states that the employer must provide fire protection to the workers who are at risk of being injured from fire. Okay, just mention that, and you can also mention OSHAD codes of practices, which is used in Abu Dhabi. So let me just share the website again. So you go back and you can write down here OSHAD website. So when you go to the OSHAD website, this is it, Abu Dhabi Occupational Safety and Health Center, Abu Dhabi. You can click here. If you're in any other country, you can use your local country laws as well, but you must give a reference to ILO. ILO reference is mandatory. Okay. So here you can go into the codes of practice. Where is the code of practice? Here. Then you can look for the fire code of practice. So here we have hazardous materials, magnet of asbestos, occupational, Let's go to fire safety, fire safety. General workplace amenities. Then we have when you inspection mother, safety in the heat, violence at work, manual handling, electrical safety, oil requirement, signage, temporary, or occupational food safety, manual tasks, safety design, work at height, scaffolding, confined spaces. There should be one regarding welding, I think. Hot works. So there you go. You can find code of practice number 28, and this is the hot work operations for welding. So there is the code of practice that you need to refer to in the